What's up, everybody? Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video, and I just chugged like 3 goddamn energy drinks because I wake up like just a little bit ago, and there's so many leaks. I don't even know where to start. So I figure I'll start off with the insane agent changes because there is so many goddamn agent changes. I mean, just the entire game is going to be fundamentally different. We got so much to talk about. I'm just going to be pumping out videos. So yeah, smash that like, subscribe. Make sure you watch, check them all out. Go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for the highest quality in-depth guides, VOD reviews, tips, and tricks. Right now with our brand new website, it looks so freaking fantastic. If you really want to improve at the game, you gotta go check it out right now down below. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. So these are an ongoing development. There might be more agent changes we don't know about and special things that is not being revealed. But for now, this is the changes as they currently stand. So Astra's astral form is now actually cheaper from 200 to 150, but the starting stars is now from 2 to 1. Now this is gonna actually hurt Astra in the early part of the game, but there's a point of returns where this is actually going to make it easier for Astra to buy all of her stars. We talked in the past how a lot of pros and a lot of people were talking about Astra nerfs, and I'm not really sure that this is that solid of a nerf. I actually think that this is a slight buff in a lot of different situations, so it's definitely interesting that Riot has a different mentality, but in ranked play, Astra is definitely not dominant at all. The next up, we gotta talk about Jet. Oh, Jet. Cloudburst went from 100 credits to 200 credits. Updraft went from 100 credits to 150 credits. Bladestorm went from 6 ult points to 7 ult points, and according to early testing, Jet cannot dash through Cypher Trip. Every single part of this is just freaking nuts. I told you that Jet was most likely going to be getting nerfed, especially with the operator changes that we're going to talk about in the next video, and that is just absolutely nuts. Jet is going to be just a little bit weaker in many different categories. Now, is she going to be unplayable? Absolutely not. Is she still going to be nuts? Absolutely. But this brings one of the strongest characters that was priced to be even stronger, being able to abuse the op more than anyone else, a little bit weaker, but if you rely on the operator now, you're probably going to be about the same power level overall. Now, the next character that we gotta talk about is Breach. Aftershock went from 100 to 200, and instead of 1 explosion, you have 3 damn explosion. Now, Breach's flashpoint went from 200 to 250, and instead of 3 charges, you only have 2. So you're sacrificing one of your flash charges and much more price increase for an increased Aftershock price, but the ability to buy 3, so you could technically flush out many different cubbies. It's a fundamental different playstyle of Breach now. Instead of actually punishing open space that people are holding, you're flushing people out of closed space or covered space so that you can force a duel with them. Now, the next character that we gotta talk about is Brimstone with his incendiary from 200 to 250 credits. That's just a nerf, like a really slight one, but it is a nerf. Why are you nerfing Brimstone? What the fuck? And moving on to the next character we gotta talk about is Cypher. His Neuro Theft went from 7 to 6, so it's a slight buff to his ultimate. It's gonna be a little bit easier to get. Not a huge change, but still a change nonetheless for Cypher, who definitely needed a little bit of a buff. The next thing that we gotta talk about is the new Agent KO, which now we know his statistics. Frag is 200 cost, Flash is 250, 0 point is free, and Null or CMD, his ultimate, is 7 whole points. We're gonna be doing an in-depth breakdown of this character in the future, so definitely stick around until then. And the next character that we actually got to talk about is Omen. Shrouded Step went from 100 to 150. Paranoia is now down from 400 to 300. And Dark Cover now went from free to 100, and instead of a 30-second cooldown, it's a 40-second cooldown. Now, I know that the Paranoia change is nice, but overall, this is a really big nerf to Omen. Not only not getting that first Dark Cover for free, but having to wait an extra 10 seconds before you get more means that you're just gonna have less overall smokes throughout a round. Your cycles of engagement are gonna be much longer, and all in all, I think this is gonna hurt Omen quite a bit in the long run. However, I do know he's still viable, and he is still way better than Brimstone, especially because they're nerfing Brimstone, even though he's like the least picked controller. So Omen's gonna be fine. It just kind of sucks that he's going to be weaker overall. Then the next character that we actually got to talk about is Phoenix with a curveball from 200 to 250. So a little bit more expensive, little slight nerf to Phoenix, nothing major, but it is notable. Raze the Boombot is now from 200 to 400 credits, and Showstopper is now a whole other kill from 7 to 8. Now, that is a gigantic price increase. That is a really big freaking deal for Raze, and it actually really nerfs the damn character. Now, especially on pistol round, you're not going to be able to buy a Ghost and a Boombot, which definitely freaking sucks. And Boombot is one of your most powerful and most unique abilities ever, and the fact that it costs 400 credits is a really big deal. That's going to definitely really hurt Raze. And while the character is still fine, still unique, it's definitely going to be a felt change, a felt nerf, and yeah, sorry you Raze mains. And the next character that we're gonna talk about is Reyna. Her Lear went from 200 to 250. Just a little bit weaker, just a little bit more costly. Not a big change to Reyna. Reyna's gonna be about the same, but it is just a little bit to note. The next character that we're going to talk about is Sage. Her slow orb went from 100 to 200, but resurrection went from 7 to 8 kills. Now, slight nerfs again to Sage. Well, a lot of people probably thought that Sage didn't need to be touched, and I probably would tend to agree with you. Sage did have some of the highest win rate in all of ranked play across basically every single rank, so they're just tweaking her a little bit here, and this is not going to be that big of a deal. Sage is still going to be just fine. Now, the next character that we're going to talk about is Skye. Trailblazer went from 200 to 250 credits. Guiding Light, instead of 3 charges, she has 2. Now, instead of 100 cost, they're 250 cost, and it's 40-second regeneration. So basically, they made the flashes more expensive, so it's harder to buy multiples, and they gave her less overall charges, so she can't just flash, flash, flash over and over again, but they gave it a 40-second regeneration. So over the course of a game, you're going to be getting some of these for free. And that's really, really good when you're using Skye's Flash as an information gathering tool rather than just something to literally brutalize your enemies. I want to be honest, I really like this change. It really makes Skye better at some things, which is that information gathering that you really want to use Skye as kind of a character that can do a similar job to Sova while still providing a bolster to your offense without just having that 3 flash monstrosity that was just in the game, especially with breaches changes. Now, just players in general are going to get flashed a lot less. Now, speaking of Sova, moving on to the next changes, we have Owl Drone going from 300 to 400, Shock Bolt going from 100 to 150, and Hunter's Fury going from 7 to 8. All really big changes to Sova, overall just making him a lot weaker. That being said, Sova is still irreplaceable, very powerful, and even at this increased cost, Sova is still going to be one of the best characters in the game. And I do think that they did this because Sova has just been climbing the pick rate more and more and more, and especially as the community gets better at this character, he's going to be getting more and more impact overall, and they're probably going to have to nerf him to kind of balance that out. Then moving on to the next character, we got to talk about Viper with her Snake Bite from 100 to 200. Small change, but that cost does add up. We got to talk about Yoru with his Blindside change from 200 to 250. They freaking nerfed Yoru. I know it's slight, but why? Why are they nerfing my boy Yoru? I don't understand. Didn't we all agree that he needed a buff? Come on, Riot, what are you doing? But holy shit, this is just going to really change the damn meta. I mean, there's just so many changes, so many moving parts here. I am so freaking excited. And there's a whole bunch of weapon changes as well that I'm going to break down in the next video. So make sure you smash the like, subscribe, go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for high quality in-depth guides, tips, and tricks, and VOD reviews you won't find everywhere else. And I'll see you all in a little bit. So I love your faces. See you then.